Hi, welcome to Chapter 5. I'm Ray Gessner, and this is the second portion of Masonry Chimneys. Anyways, enjoy your video. Thanks a lot. Bye.
One of the most common problems observed in masonry chimneys, and masonry in general, is spalling brick, where the face of the brick flakes, chips, or breaks apart. Many homeowners believe this is caused by poor quality brick or environmental exposure, but the root cause almost always traces back to the original construction. The International Residential Code establishes strict requirements for masonry joint dimensions, particularly in Section R606, 3.1, which governs the thickness of bed joints, head joints, and collar joints. These joints must be constructed to uniform thickness using the correct mortar type to ensure that the brickwork behaves as a unified system. Mortar selection is critical. Mortar must be softer or lower in compressive strength than the brick units themselves. Mortar is engineered to act as the sacrificial component of the wall, deforming and crushing slightly under movement, moisture expansion, and thermal cycling to protect the harder brick units. Historically, this was well understood, and masons used type and mortar for chimney construction because it is more flexible and has a lower compressive strength appropriate for most brick. However, many modern masons routinely use Type S mortar, which is significantly stronger and harder. When a high-strength mortar is paired with standard or softer brick, the mortar can no longer accommodate the natural expansion of the brick. The mechanism of spalling is straightforward. Brick is a porous, absorbent material that naturally expands as it takes in moisture. When expansion occurs, either the mortar joint yields or the brick does. If the mortar is too hard, the stress is transferred into the brick, causing the face of the brick to crack and eventually flake away. Over time, repeated wetting, freezing, and heating cycles accelerate the damage until the brick visibly spalls. In other words, spalling is not a failure of the brick. It is a failure of the mortar selection and joint construction. Proper chimney construction begins with adequate wall thickness, compliant joint dimensions as specified in IRCR 606, 3.1, and the correct mortar type suited to the compressive strength of the brick. When these elements are properly executed, the chimney becomes a durable, resilient structure capable of withstanding weather, heat, and time without deterioration. Failure to follow these basic principles, however, inevitably leads to premature brick damage, leaking, thermal transfer issues, and costly repairs. Efflorescence is the white, powdery, crystalline substance that often appears on the surface of masonry chimneys. It forms when water dissolves natural salts within the brick or mortar, then carries those salts to the exterior surface where the moisture evaporates and leaves the crystals behind. While many people assume efflorescence is merely cosmetic, it is actually a clear indication that moisture is moving through the chimney. That moisture can come from two different directions, either from the outside penetrating inward or from inside the chimney pushing outward. When water enters from the outside, it typically comes through defects such as a cracked crown, missing or improperly installed flashing, porous brick, deteriorated mortar joints, or a missing chimney cap. Once inside the masonry, the water travels outward by capillary action and brings salts to the surface. The appropriate solution for this type of efflorescence is to stop the water from entering the masonry. Structural defects must be repaired first. This may include crown reconstruction, flashing correction, tuck pointing, or replacing damaged brick. After the masonry is structurally sound, the chimney can be treated with a breathable masonry water repellent. Professional-grade repellents allow vapor to escape from the masonry while blocking liquid water from penetrating the surface, keeping the chimney drier and preventing future efflorescence. Moisture, however, can also form from inside the chimney, especially when gas appliances vent into a masonry flue. Gas combustion naturally produces water vapor. In a large, cold masonry chimney, these flue gases cool too rapidly. As the temperature drops, the vapor condenses on the interior walls of the flue, saturating the masonry from the inside out. This internal condensation dissolves salts in the brick and mortar just as exterior water does, and eventually the salts migrate outward and appear on the exterior surface. Moisture created by gas appliances is particularly aggressive because it is acidic and can deteriorate mortar joints and clay flue tiles quickly. One of the most effective solutions in this situation is the installation of a properly sized stainless steel liner. A stainless steel liner keeps the flue gases warmer and prevents condensation from forming. It also confines the moisture within the liner system, reducing the amount of water that can enter the masonry itself. In summary, efflorescence occurs because moisture is either entering the chimney from outside or forming inside from gas appliance condensation. By addressing both potential sources,
I'd like to say thank you for watching our video. It's people like you that made our chimney website channel the most subscribed on YouTube for chimneys. You can get the whole series for only $200 a month, and we continue to add videos. If you're just a person who's interested in being a chimney sweep, oh my gosh, chimney sweeping makes tons of money. All right, thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.